Thanks, Coach Miles. It's a great day to be a LSU Tiger. My family and I are extremely excited to be part of the LSU football program, and we want to thank Coach Miles for affording us this opportunity. I know this program pretty well, and that my son was a graduate assistant for 3 years for Coach Miles Gordon, and of course Caroline and Linda came down often to the games here. I would go into the stadium and coach a game and drive home by myself because Mom and sister were at LSU watching Gordon coach as a graduate assistant, so you know the pecking order in our family, and they're very excited about coming back and being an LSU Tiger. As far as the journey getting here, this is an amazing opportunity, and the reason being is that I firmly believe that without question that the LSU defensive football is and always has been something in this league and across the nation that says relentless pursuit, great effort, and just a dominating attacking style defense. That's just what LSU football was built on. That's what it is, and that's what it has continued to be under Coach Miles. We will absolutely keep that philosophy and keep it rolling and create an environment where we can put the best players on the field, have fun, and go be successful, give them opportunities to line up in the ways you have to line up with modern day football in this conference, and that 6, 7 years ago, you went and you lined up against I-backs, and everybody hammered it. A little bit of play action pass, and then it was like the NFL third down pass, and now obviously you guys cover this. It's not that way anymore. It's uniquely different. So you have to be creative with the ways that you generate pass rush, that you generate big plays or negative plays for offenses and prevent big plays, and we'll be relentless in our pursuit to do that. But I was sitting here thinking, Ed and I have talked ball already a little bit today and some recruiting, and Ed, I'm not sure that if we had a funeral for you and I today that this many people would show up. So it's kind of amazing.
Is it more important to kind of adapt what these players, this personnel does to your style, or are you going to come in and try to do some of what LSU's done in terms of scheme?
Well, I think it'll be a mix. We'll get in the room and we will watch all the tape. Obviously, I'm familiar with what the scheme is here. We will watch all the tape, and collectively we will put together with Coach Miles and the defensive staff what style gives us the best way to affect offenses in this league. And so it won't just be taking a playbook out, dusting it off, and throwing it on and say, okay, this is what we're doing. We have to adapt things to the talent on the field, because I'll promise you this, I cannot tackle.
Kevin, you're looking at 3-4 or 4-3, and secondly, what do you think, in your opinion, is the key to stopping up the hurry-up, no-huddle offense now?
Okay, let's take them one at a time. I'm going to ask you to readdress the second question because I didn't hear the last part of it very well. In terms of 4-3, 3-4, again, that goes back to the original statement in that we will put together philosophically. You're going to have to use it all in this league. You're going to have some odd front stuff, particularly against the spread offense that much of the West is running. And so to get those two edge guys out there, but there also is a place for the other, so we'll have to mix that. And your other part of your question was?
Key to stopping the hurry-up, no-huddle offense right now.
Well, we're still, I think you would say, I could give you an answer and you could type real fast and it would probably be something that people would read, but the truth of the matter is I don't think anybody has dissected it to the very minute point that, you know what, they're just going to dump it and go kind of like the wishbone. You know, one day everybody said, hey, enough of that, everybody knows what they're doing. It's still a work in progress, but I think the thing that probably when you break it down in its totality and you just say, and this is a pretty simple answer to a complicated question, is when you really break it down in its totality, you have to create negative plays and get them behind the sticks early in the downs. And then the big plays in this league have gone up tremendously in terms of the big explosive plays for the offense. You have to eliminate that. You can't survive if you don't eliminate the big play, which is pretty prevalent in the league right now when you start talking about those style offenses, and put them behind the sticks in first down.
You talked about being familiar with this program. Could you talk about getting Ogeron with you and what that means, or how familiar you are with his work? And then secondly, just the resources that you have here at this school and defensively especially, being able to coach those kinds of guys.
Well, as far as Coach Ogeron, obviously his resume speaks for itself. In fact, just riding over here today, one of the former NFL linebackers that I coached in NFL sent me a text, congratulations, you'll do great. Coach Ogeron, greatest hire ever, you'll love it. So, I mean, and that's just from a guy who played in the National Football League for 10 years. I mean, his record speaks for itself in terms of producing players, but not only that, when people talk about Ed is the relationship that he has with his players and his fellow coaches and the energy he brings. So we're pretty excited about that. Second part of your question was?
Just the players, I guess, the assets that LSU has been able to put into the league, and now you get your hands on. How excited was that?
It's pretty exciting. It's a pretty talented group of people, and that's because there's tremendous high school football and development of players in this state. This is a place that if you walk into a school to recruit a young man, you have an opportunity because of the letters on your shirt, not because you're a great recruiter, not because you're a great coach, because you represent the LSU Tigers, you're in the door. That gives you a chance. And then if you can persuade enough mothers to lend you their son for a little bit, then you get a collective group of defensive players that are hard to move the ball against.
You and Coach Yo have been described as a dynamite recruiting tandem, or it could be at least. Can you talk about hitting the ground running on Thursday, and how much can you guys move up in the recruiting rankings before early February?
We will hit the ground tonight, and then of course live contact starts tomorrow. So we've just got out of a meeting with Coach Miles of planning actually where we will be the next 3 weeks. So we've got a pretty proactive plan to implement.
How many guys you think you can, possibly flip, and how much gain can you make before the, February?
Well, gain is valued in terms of, and don't take this wrong, I'm not. There's a difference in a staff meeting talking recruiting, and then reading the internet talking recruiting, in terms of the rankings and this guy's this and this guy's that. It's totally different in a staff room in that you're evaluating film and you're trying to find the best fit for what you do. Obviously, I don't think any video that I've watched on a recruit, I don't ever remember seeing how many stars he had pop up and say, oh, okay, we can't take this guy as a 2-star. It's truly evaluating, his factors, his critical factors at his position. So moving up to us is quite different than moving up elsewhere, if that makes sense.
Just touched on recruiting a bit, but Alabama's put together back-to-back good classes while you've been there. How would you best describe your role on that staff recruiting-wise? Because you've been billed as a guy who kind of helps organize things top to bottom.
I'm at LSU now, so I don't know anything about what's going on there in terms of that, but I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. The role was no different than Frank Wilson here or Ed Orgeron's role. The thing about recruiting is it's not one guy. Now, the head coach has a critical factor in that, obviously, but as far as assistants go, it's a team effort. It's no different than Ed coaching the defensive line, me coaching the linebackers, and Corey coaching the defensive backs. At the end of the day, we're all involved in the defense. Recruiting's the same way. It's multiple visits, different people connecting with different people, and it takes a complete family of coaches to create a family for them here and to recruit them here.